Okay, so taking some time out from trying to fix the brakes on the Volkswagen, which has been going on for a very long time. I've got the annoying dog here today. It just makes noise all the time, obviously. But I want to share with you a new purchase recently. It's a Honda EU30IS. It is working, although it's very much missing stuff, but it does work. There's the 20, and I actually have the 10 at home as well, so 10, 20 and the 30. Now the reason I want this is part of the off-grid series of videos I'm doing, of which this will be one. But it's basically taking this apart, making it good and adapting it to what we need. It weighs a lot, it's quite heavy, so the first thing we've got to do is get it from there onto the bench. Please excuse the mess, we're in the middle of tidying up. I know it doesn't look like it, but we are. And in order to do that, we're going to use this. So a quick story behind that. I was on in my house down south, and I got a phone call from mum, which is 2 hours away. Phone call from my mum saying my dad had fallen over and she couldn't get him up. Anyway, resolved that situation, but if it had happened again and I wasn't here, then we would have had a problem. So I just quickly went online, and somebody was selling one of these. Sadly, I think because whoever it was before passed away, for not very much money, and it can lift 115 kilos. So I'm going to use it, hopefully, to lift up that generator onto that bench, and that's why I've kept it around, really, just to lift stuff like this. So let's see how it goes. Let's have a quick look around it. Obviously the back casing's missing. Exhaust silencer is there. But that would also mean some of the soundproofing is missing as well. This is bent. That probably connects onto the diffuser or whatnot. There's a little bolt in there. Stick that in there for now. What else can we tell from this end? That's pretty much it. I mean, these are bent, but that's no big deal. They've still got some of the nuts on these two, so it looks like the casing is the only thing that's missing there. They're supposed to have a pull start here. That's missing. Other than that, it's just a bit banged up, really. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever find a back panel for it. If anyone's got one lying around, let me know. Just for the soundproofiness. Okay, firstly, this door is covered in oil. Why is it covered in oil? That's a bit strange. Right, we've got the battery. That's probably a rectifier for the 12 volt out. Fuse. We've also got this is the inverter, I think, the main inverter. Control panel, sockets, etc. So I'm going to take this control panel off, and I think the best way to do that is turn the fuel off and then pull that handle out. Damn it, got loads of these. The only one I haven't got is this one. Oh no. No, that's it. Today's one of those days, and I'm old enough and stupid enough to realise when one of these days is here, nothing goes right. If you push it, you break something, it all goes wrong. I thought I'd do this just to relax, but I'm missing tools and parts aren't right, and it's just, I'm not in the right space. So I'm going to leave that, finish the oil change on my van, and then I'm going to have a beer, because it's not good. I know I keep saying this is it, but I got a beer, so back to it. It looks like, so that's the air filter, it's absolutely soaking with either oil or petrol. There's something not quite right, probably with the carburetor. So I'm going to delve in further. I'm still trying to disconnect there. This, to get to the choke is right back at the top there. I can't get it out of that metal thing. So I'm going to take the airbox off, try and get in there and get it all separate into pieces, and I'll show you what I found. We're in. So now we're in, you can see some major parts. Carburetor, the engine is in here, this bit, all that. This huge metal thing here is the generator head, and that is the recoil start. That is the probably the starter. Yeah, fuel tank, which we're about to remove, maybe, sort of, could do. Okay, I've got this cover off now, and we can definitely see it's been hit on this corner, so it's bent, pinching the breather from the engine. So we'll sort that out. But I'm going to take the generator off with the, what do you call it? Anyway, take this off and then see what's behind there, see if we can get to the engine and we can strip it down. Alright, we're getting there. So I've separated the engine, exhaust, and generator assembly. Right, finally got down to the engine. So this is the engine bit, exhaust. That is an oil level sensor. Right, this is the generator part, and all generators work on the same principle, no matter how posh they are. You have magnets rotating, and the magnets induce a current in the coil, and it comes out, and then the fancy electronics change it to whatever's usable. Good morning, Saturday morning. So I just thought I'd share with you where we are with the generator. So we found that I stripped down the engine from the generator. It's a GX200. Cleaned it up a little bit. It was quite nice. When I took the head off, there was a lot of carbon build up inside, but seems to have cleaned that out quite well. But here are the valves, and I've cleaned it up, but they're not quite straight, not very good. So I bought 2 new valves, 2 new seals, piston, but I'm gonna not use that. It's a cheap Chinese one, I think, and the Honda one is fine. piston rings I'm not going to bother with, or the pins. A new gasket set, which is good to go for on the head and various other things. Oh yeah, I've got the valve springs and valve stem seals. Well, there's only one on this. That's the old one, old one, old one. This is the starter motor, engages in there. There's also a pull start, but the cord had snapped, so I bought a new cord, good make. Just need to find a handle somewhere. Yellow. Oh yeah, I've also spray painted all the metalwork black with heat-proof paint. Got that. A lot of the panels and bolts and things. Oil pressure sensor, and it's operated by this tube down here. So if this if the oil level is too low, then it will not allow the engine to start, to save the oil, to save the engine from blowing up because there's no oil. Clean it all up inside, put it back together. Okay, where are we at with this engine? So we've got everything cleaned out as much as I can there. Cleaned out in here. Hello. You good girl. Very good girl. So we've got the old oil seal. I put a new one in, ready, greased it up, ready. So the oil level sensor was working fine, so no need to change that. Okay, just one thing. I did a separate video on the timing, but just in case anyone isn't watching, the two timing marks on this are there and there. If those two are lined up, the timing is good. Okay, how to check the valve clearances or valve flash on a Honda GX200 engine. Basically, you need to rotate the engine so it is top dead center. So the inlet needs to be 0.15 and the outlet needs to be 0.2. Okay, so that's all put back together. Put the rocker cover on. So this engine is ready to be installed back on the chassis. It's down there. Bit of work to do on that first, so we'll get onto that next. Back to the chassis. There's two things to do on this. The wheels, make sure they're straight, and then straighten this. You can see it's bent. Right, so straighten this out as much as I can, which is great because The hole now for the breather pipe is straight, not bent. That's good. We're ready to start assembling the generator side. Yeah. So we've got the wheel, which I've jazzed up. Look at this. Oh yeah, chrome. How do you like that? I've got the breather pipe, which eventually goes in here. Clean that up. I've got a new spark plug to go in, so I might just pop that in now while it's easy access to the plug. And that's it. So I'm starting to clean up the rectifiers, the inverter card, bits and pieces. So we're getting there. It won't be long. I reckon by the end of the day we might even have it running. You never know. Okay, it's going reasonably well. I didn't take any pictures of this, so I'm just doing it as I remember it. But I think we're doing okay. So we're now up to the stage where I need to put the recoil starter on, but that needs fixing with a new rope and a new handle. So I'm going to go and get that handle, the yellow one we saw. I think actually looking back on it, I wouldn't mind a yellow handle. An hour to put that together for someone like me. What a nightmare, but works. So we can screw that now on here and then see if I can pull the engine. Right, I just took 10 minutes there to take it all back off and all apart again, just to grease it. Sounds a lot better now. Right, so let's have a look. It's quite far along being rebuilt. I haven't really done any of the electrics yet. Get around to that. You can see in here all looks nice and clean, much better. Have a look at this. That doesn't seem right. This is connected to ground, and it should be connected to this. See if I can find a picture of what it's supposed to look like online, and then compare the two. I think clearly the engine gods do not want me to start this. I don't have the oil. I thought I did, but I don't. And one bolt is missing. One bolt out of all that. Right, okay, so this is our first kind of test, really. There's no petrol in it. I just want to test, see if the starter motor engages and that the engine cycles. So let's have a look. On. Cool. Let's get some fuel in it. Right, I have now put the new air filter box back on. No, so the new filter's inside the old box. Choke's connected, everything's connected, fuel's in. There's no reason why this won't start. Right, let's go then.
Is it loud?
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Keeps flashing low oil light. Let's check the oil again. As you can see, it runs, but we get smoke. And it's difficult to describe, but it's definitely burning oil. So there's two reasons. One, I didn't change the piston rings or the piston in there. So if the exhaust gas is going past the piston into the crankcase, which is this bit here, it's pressurizing the crankcase and pushing the oil up into the rocker cover, which is then going back in the inlet valve. Or, well, what I'm hoping for is in here, when this is warming up, from the old problem, it's full of oil or carbon or something like that. So the only thing I can think of to test is take the exhaust off and run it with no exhaust.
Not the end, no. Not the pistons.
Piston rings.
You put new ones in.
Okay, so the piston rings are wrong, which is great. They're too thick. They won't fit at all in the grooves. So you didn't want to change and use that piston, but oh god, it's just so I'm going to use this, change over the piston now as well. Right, she's in. Just got to connect up the crankshaft, and then we'll swap the oil pressure sensor out, and then we're just waiting for the gasket. Right, that's it. New piston rings installed, new gasket on the crankcase, everything's put back together. So we're looking for it to start and no blue smoke out the back, or just a little bit because there's some oil in the cylinder from when I put the piston rings in, but it should clear. So fingers crossed. Let's see if it starts. Oh yeah, and ironically there's a power cut, which is in another video you may have seen. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see what happens. As expected, doesn't start. Right, I had a thought about this generator not starting. I've built loads of these, rebuilt these engines. There's nothing difficult to them. The timing is easy to manage and so on, and I just couldn't get my head around why it wasn't firing. Sparks there, everything's there, it should work perfectly. There's no reason why not. So when I was rebuilding the engine, you have to set valve clearances. So the distance between the rocker arm and the top of the valve is quite critical with these engines. So I picked up my dad's gauge and set it to 0.2 millimeters, tightened it all up, and it wouldn't start. You just seen that, it wouldn't start. Then I thought, well, hold on, what about my gauge? And then I realized something, didn't I? This is imperial, so it's 0.2 inches. So I'm going to go and reset the valve clearances with a metric guide, and let's see how we get on from there. Right, let's see, after adjusting the valve clearances, let's see if this will start. Okay, here we go. It's finished. I'll do a little tour around it in a minute. But it's not started for a long time. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it starts. Hope you like the grey, by the way. That's a vinyl wrap I did not paint. You'll see a bit more shortly. Let's see if it starts. Starts with the pull handle, no smoke, runs smooth. Let's get it out and do a quick view around it. Okay, generator is ready now. I'm going to keep my eye out for a rear case, rear cover. If I can find that, stick that on, and then she's completely finished. Generator will be used hopefully in future projects. It's an EU30i, and you'll see it on the off-grid videos, I think, coming up. That's it for this video. Have a look through my other videos, quite interesting ones there. And you can always buy me a coffee if you think this has been useful. Just subscribe as well, thumbs up, thumbs down, and I'll see you on the next one.